What's up, everybody? Andrew Mahone here, going to be playing a game on PTCGO with my favorite standard deck right now, Buzzwole Lycanroc. Buzzwole Lycanroc is the deck that I used at the Memphis Regional Championships to finish in the top 4. I think it is super good. It's a lot of fun to play. This is just one card off of the list that I used at Memphis. Instead of the Zygarde EX that I was playing there, I swapped it for the non-EX, non-GX Zygarde. Just to speak of the devil, here he is. Just to deal with Pokemon that have those barrier abilities like the Hoopa and like Ninetales, just because I find myself encountering those more on PTCGO than I do in real life at tournaments. Because people love to do trolley stuff on PTCGO. That's just like the name of the game. So, looks like I am playing against Noivern GX Garbodor. I've showcased this deck a couple times on the competitive channel, but I've never played it myself. I've showcased it by playing against it. Played against it a few times here. I am off to a great start, though. Looks like I got a Buzzwole, Brooklet Hill. I can go ahead, start to set up my benched Pokemon here. I could get Lycanroc GX going. I can get Octillery going. I'll probably go ahead and get Lycanroc just so that I can, target something down on my opponent's side of the field. I could also Max Elixir if I wanted to. Max Elixir seems pretty good. Yeah, let's go ahead and attach to my Buzzwole GX. Max Elixir, see if we hit it. And we did. Awesome. So we're looking at like a turn 2 potential Knuckle Impact here, which would just be very, very strong. And that'd be great. So let's go ahead and pass to my opponent. My opponent is going to be evolving into Noivern GX. That could be very frustrating for me because they have an attack that prevents items from being played, which could stop me from using my Max Elixirs, could stop me from using Ultra Balls, Floatstones, Choice Bands, all of that. They also have an attack that prevents me from attaching special energy from my hand to their Pokemon. But it looks like they're off to a little bit of a slow start here, and I should be able to take advantage of that. I'm going to go ahead and Brooklet Hill, grab my Remoraid here, and then I'm going to attach this fighting energy to my active Pokemon and Sycamore. I've got no interest in ending my opponent. Looks like they had a dead hand, so I'm just going to continue to try and just be as aggressive as possible. Now, I do want to knock out this Noibat. They flipped a tails on that, I'm pretty sure. So if they flipped a heads, I'm going to be awfully embarrassed by trying to attack into this thing because I don't have to attack into this thing. I will Parallel City my opponent as well. I'm playing 2 copies of Parallel City in this deck. I think it's just so strong. Very good for limiting your opponent's options, especially so that they cannot Bridget for a full bench. Bridget is just such a highly played card in standard format right now. And if your opponent tries to Bridget and you got a Parallel City in play, a lot of times they can't get all the Pokemon that they would want to, especially if they have, oh my goodness, my opponent does not have a dead hand. So are they going to be knocking out this Buzzwole? They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, 6 times. Oh my goodness, if they get a Psychic Energy, this Buzzwole is dead. Dead. Now, they went ahead and tricked me. I thought their hand was dead. I did not think they had anything there, so I'm not expecting this Trashlands Garbodor to come and hit me in the face. This is going to make things really bad. I thought that maybe they were just going to be passing and losing here, but instead, if they hit a Psychic Energy, this Buzzwole is a goner. That is not good for me. It's going to be very difficult for me to build up another Buzzwole, but if they whiff the Psychic, then we're in the clear. Maybe I should have gone ahead. I considered for a second like Ultra Balling for the Lycanroc and bringing out the Trubbish and knocking it out, but I was not too worried about them just getting the turn 2 Garbodor like this. I didn't realize that I had that many items down already, so if they have the Psychic, this game's going to get really interesting really fast. Like, that is going to be horrible for me. I'm going to have to figure out some sort of creative way to knock out this Garbodor, maybe with Lycanroc or something. If they knock it out, they didn't get it. Thank goodness, but I need to figure out a way to go ahead and attack again. So this is not good because I don't have Switch. I can't just bring up this Garbodor again. I can't like Guzma around to the Garbodor. I need to knock out the Garbodor. This thing is a problem. I could go ahead and try to dig for a float stone. Let's see, I could rumble the Garbodor. I could try to attack it with Lycanroc. That's probably a fine option. I could Guzma around and corner something. My opponent does not have... Okay, so we need to think of my options here. I can Ultra Ball away the Remoraid and the Buzzwole. I think I'm going to do that too. I'm just kind of thinking on my feet. I wanted the strong energy on the Rockruff. I want this Octillery. And I'm going to draw a couple cards, see if I can't get into something else. I could hit another Float Stone, so that's an option too that I can always do. And just I could corner something. I could retreat into Zygarde. Let's go ahead and Abyssal Hand for a draw of 2. See if we get something else. We do have a Max Elixir here. I like that. I could retreat the Buzzwole, as kind of wasteful as that seems. Let's go ahead. Max Elixir, do we hit it? We did. Okay. So now I can actually Dangerous Rogue the Garbodor, which seems very... it seems like a lot, but I don't mind it. I like that my opponent's hand does not have a Psychic Energy, so I'm just going to Sycamore. And we did get the Dangerous Rogue Float Stone on the Garbodor, so I'm going to do it. It's just 120 damage. Perfect. I'm not bringing anything else up. I need to take care of this Garbodor right now. So we're going to knock it out with the Lycanroc GX, Dangerous Rogue GX. Take care of that Garbodor that almost took me out. You know, a whole life flashed before my eyes there and almost had a horrible situation. So we do have quite a bit of items in the discard pile at this point. We've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... 7, 8 items in the discard pile. So if my opponent were to get a Trashlanch Garbodor up and running, they would be doing a lot of damage to me. What did I say? 8 items. That's 160 damage. If they had a Choice Band, that's 190 damage. I'm weak to Psychic, so they're going to be destroying a Buzzwole. You know, Lycanroc is a little bit more of a, you know, kind of a fortified wall against a Garbodor. I can just Claw Slash, you know, a Garbodor next turn. If I find another strong energy after my opponent ends me here, I can just Guzma Strong, knock out whatever my opponent has on their side of the field. But they do have Crushing Hammers, which is going to slow me down. Unfortunately, for my opponents, this Trubbish, I do not plan on allowing it to survive through the turn. Now, they are going to Acid Spray me, so they are going to try and limit my energy on this Lycanroc. You can see they're going in with the Crushing Hammer. They're going in with the Acid Spray. They flip a Heads here, which they do. They're going to remove my strong energy, I imagine. Yep. And that kind of slows me down in an annoying way. However, I don't really mind because I am just going to go ahead and knock this thing out. And I'm going to knock it out with my Buzzwole. As silly as it seems to use Buzzwole's Knuckle Impact on a... they scoop. So my opponent's out. They realize that I'm just going to be able to Knuckle Impact. They were sick of the beating. We're going to go ahead and try to roll this into one more game here just to keep this train rolling with Buzzwole, Lycanroc. Let's see how we do. That was a little bit of a quick one. Gonna go for 2 here. See what we can manage. Looks like got a couple dark patches on the ladder, so that's nice and fun. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna be doing a little bit more gameplays on the main channel. I know Derium wants to try me out on the main channel, just see, you know, how you guys like it. But like we said, want to hear your feedback. Do you like watching gameplays every once in a while? Looks like Gengar 101 is saying hello, and they look like they're maybe happy to see me, so maybe they know who I am. Maybe they follow the competitive channel. That would be pretty cool. So shout out to Gengar 101 here. We are going to be, let's see, who do we start? Do we start Regirock? Or we start Remoraid? I think I'm going to be probably Sycamoring this hand on the first turn, so I think I'll start the Remoraid. I don't want to get that Regirock stuck up there if I don't need to, and I don't want to bench it just in case it's not like a good thing to have in whatever matchup I'm playing against. I don't know what deck I'm playing against here. I don't know what kind of deck. Looks like they're playing a metal deck. Okay, so that is interesting. My opponent's deck is completely blinged out. Their deck is gorgeous. I'm feeling a little bit jealous, but that is okay. All right, so they've got a Zoroark deck. They've got also Solgaleo. So this looks like it's a Solgaleo Zoroark deck. They probably are using Zoroark GX to fill their hand with trade and just draw lots of cards. And it looks like they are probably playing Solgaleo and just going to be doing a huge amount of damage with Solgaleo and just pumping out 230 after 230. So super cool deck that my opponent's playing. Beautiful cards. Like, oh my gosh, what a collection. That is insane. Looks like they went ahead, Skyled, got another Zorua in case they get knocked out on the first turn of the game. Valid concern there. I probably am going to need my Regirock here since that thing has got a ton of hit points. I want to also Parallel City my opponent and keep it that way. Yep, limit their bench. And then I don't really want to... I do not want to Sycamore all these supporters. That just seems so bad. So let's see. I could end. That also seems bad. I think I want to just go as aggressively as I can here with Sycamore, but that just, it feels so wrong. Let's be a little bit more patient, I think. All right. I'm going to be a little bit more patient. See if I can't, buff out that draw here with a little something. Okay, I got some Pokemon, but I do not have any sort of way to attach an energy. So that's a little bit unfortunate. I'm just going to bench these guys here and then pass, and then I think hopefully the goal is that next turn my opponent does not knock out the Remoraid. If my opponent evolves into Zoroark GX, I know they probably play double colorless energy because that's like the best way to accelerate in this deck. Is with they play a Rayquaza that does this turbo attack or something, and it does like 20 or 30 damage and accelerates 2 energy to their bench Pokemon. So they're probably going to be using that Rayquaza to accelerate energy. I'm sure it will hit the field here eventually. If they go ahead and if they rip an Ultra Ball or a Zoroark off this end, my Remoraid is going to be a goner, which will be a little frustrating, especially with a hand looking like this, because this hand has got nothing in it other than an Octillery. So let's, oh my gosh, do not, yes, he didn't get it. He did not get it. All right, here's the Rayquaza I was talking about. Turbo Storm, $30. They missed it. They missed it. Okay, thank goodness, because I've got nothing. A big fat hand full of nothing going on over here. Let's try to Max Elixir. Can we hit it? We did hit it. Even with 3 fighting energy in hand, we hit the Max Elixir. I think I have to actually manually retreat. I'm not going to try and, I'm not going to, flirt with failure here. I am going to retreat that manually. I'm going to evolve, and this way I'm guaranteed to draw some cards. So let's go ahead. Abyssal for 2. Hopefully we can get an N or something, because I'm not trying to Sycamore all these cards. We do got an N. So let's, search for a supporter card. Yes, please. I would like to get an N. I'm fine knocking out the active the active Zorua. That is great. And I will bench one more Buzzwole just to have another backup attacker. And let's go ahead and end. So that was a great little exchange there off of the horrible hand. Thank goodness my opponent missed that Zorua. That was almost really bad. Like really, really bad. I could use Lycanroc here to bring up something on my opponent's side of the field, but I just want to knock out the Zorua with the DCE. I could also Max Elixir, but I'm not really concerned with Max Elixiring this turn. I'll wait until I can thin my deck with Ultra Ball next turn to be able to Max Elixir, I think. So I'm just going to go ahead and Jet Punch, knock that out, place 30 damage onto the... let's see, the Rayquaza is probably going to be a pain for me to knock out because it's got like this resistance. So maybe I should poke into that. I know my opponent also plays Max Potion, so let's do the Cosmo. Do the Cosmo. If I knock out the Cosmo M, that would be great. But I also know that Solgaleo's got like 250 hit points, so it's just got like a ton of hit points. Both of these kind of seem a little underwhelming, but I don't really plan on trying to knock out this Rayquaza. So like that was like my thought process there, is that the Rayquaza really is low threat to me. The big threat is this Solgaleo, who my opponent can use Ultra Road. They can switch, whoever they want into the active position. Then they can use Sunsteel Strike, 230 damage. If they can get that thing powered up, they are going to be doing a huge, ridiculous amount of damage to me. So I want to this turn, I want to hit some max elixirs. I want to dangerous rogue GX or something. So I would hope that my opponent maybe can like bump my my parallel, put another Pokemon down, and use Solgaleo, GX for Soul Burst. And then if they Soul Burst and then I knock them out, that'd be great. Maybe if my opponent hits a double colorless energy, I think it's actually just a better play to not try to Soul Burst. I think it's a better play to try and use Turbo Storm, yeah. So they're not putting their Solgaleo in harm's way. So they are just going to be doing that. They're going, oh, they don't have any energy to accelerate. That is rough. Okay, so I am in the clear here because I have Guzma and Strong Energy. So I am going to be able to knock out the Zorua and put a little bit more damage on that Solgaleo. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's Guzma. We're going to take out the Zorua, just kind of limit my opponent's draw. We're going to use the free retreat with the Octillery here. And I'm going to attach my Strong to my bench Buzzwole. I'm not really concerned with, just putting my choice bands down. It's just fine. 2 max elixirs. Man, that is crazy. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put I don't have any fighting in my hand. So my odds are, pretty much as high as they're going to get as me hitting these. All right, I did get a fighting energy there. So now I'm ready for a huge knuckle impact next turn. If my opponent is going to bring up that Solgaleo, I can knock that out pretty easily with knuckle impact. Not too worried about that. I will damage the Solgaleo just one more time to make sure that I do have the right numbers to get it totally knocked out, though. You could see how just good Parallel City is against my opponent's strategy. They're having a hard time setting up their Zoroarks. They only got one Solgaleo in play. So even though Solgaleo has the ability to knock out my Buzzwoles in one hit, they are fumbling to get set up while my deck is just running on all 6 cylinders. And now they have to Wonder Tag again, and they don't have any bench space to put any more Cosmoems or Cosmogs or whatever. So they are like out of bench space. That is rough. They need to find themselves a Field Blower to get rid of my Stadium, or that thing is just going to be a pain for them to deal with this whole match. I mean, I don't really think that there's any other way to say it. They're going into the active position. This is a wild move on my opponent's part. They are coming into the active position. They are not afraid of my benched Buzzwole. But that being said, this bench Buzzwole is going to have a hard time getting into the active position. So that's fair. They know that I have a choice band on my active Buzzwole. Very fair of them to, to say that maybe I won't be able to retreat this Buzzwole. So that would be tough. I would have to retreat the Buzzwole manually, I think, or find Field Blower as well as Floatstone. Like, I don't think I can do it, so that is going to be tough. I'm not going to bump this Parallel City. You can see my opponent just has no one else to power up, so let's go ahead and put that choice band there. We're going to put this choice band here, and let's go ahead. Let's see if we can't Abyssal Hand into a couple things. I'm not going to play the Brooklet Hill down because you've seen just how good that Parallel is going against my opponent's deck. We did get a Floatstone, but it doesn't do us any good because we got choice band on the active Pokemon. So let's put that Floatstone there. I could bring up Pokemon on my opponent's bench, but there's really no point in doing that because, if I bring up something on my opponent's bench, I just want to damage into this Solgaleo, I think, because he's the biggest threat. So there's no point in me Ultra Balling for the Rockruff. Let's go ahead and search our deck, though, since we are about to Sycamore. Let's just ditch these guys, see if there's anybody that we want to just pitch to the discard pile. I'll go ahead and throw the Octillery into the discard pile just because the odds of me getting another Octillery out this game are very small. So I did get the Field Blower, but now the Floatstone is gone, so that is tough. If I had actually just not Abyssal Hand, and if I had just Sycamored, I would have hit the Floatstone and the Field Blower, but you never really know. So I'm going to attach the Fighting Energy to my Rockruff here. So now I have like options. Like I can Jet Punch if my opponent does, kind of get me in a bad spot by using Guzma and bringing up my Buzzwole. then I can just evolve into Lycanroc, and I can Dangerous Rogue GX their Solgaleo, which will, be a great move for me. That'll put my opponent in a bad spot. I've only got 4 prizes remaining, so all I need to do is knock out this Solgaleo GX as well as the Tapu Lele GX, and that will be game for me. I really have no interest in even touching this Rayquaza. So I wonder if my opponent has the Guzma. They will probably bring up my Buzzwole with 2 energies on it. Oh, they're going to Max Potion the Solgaleo. Okay, and now they're just going to Turbo Storm and Accelerate. So that's a little bit of a conservative play on my opponent's side. However, I've got Guzma's Strong Energy in hand, so I should be able to knock out my opponent's Solgaleo now. Let's see, I'm doing 160, 200, 230, 240. Oh my goodness, am I 10 damage short? That is too much. Oh my gosh, I think I am. Yep, so I'm at 160, 200, 230, 240. I am 10 damage short of knocking out that Solgaleo, which is a little bit frustrating. I could just, bring up the Tapu Lele and nuke that. I'll probably do it. So let's just Guzma up the Tapu Lele. We just are going to go down, a little bit further in the prize trade here. Knock out this thing. If I do knock this out, it is a little bit of a tough call though, because then I am just like allowing that Solgaleo just to come and just take, a big knockout. That's fine. I could just win the game with Lycanroc and the Tapu Lele. So I think I'll do that. So that's going to be the game plan here, is to win the game on this Tapu Lele with Lycanroc's Dangerous Rogue. We're just going to Knuckle Impact here, take this threat out. My opponent's going to knock out my Buzzwole. Then I'll win with my own Lycanroc GX. So that's going to be the route we take. That is fine. The Solgaleo is just a little bit too big for me to knock out. You can see why I was trying to make it so that my opponent, could not make it, so that my opponent could not, survive a Knuckle Impact by softening it up with my Jet Punches early on. But my opponent's Max Potion was a good play. Hopefully my opponent benches one more Pokemon. I need my opponent to bench one more Pokemon. They did not. They were too smart for that. They were like, no, Andrew, I know what I'm doing. I'm not going to bench one more Pokemon. I'm going to make it a lot harder for you to win the game. So that's fair. At least I know that they can't take a big knockout next turn. So I do know that my opponent does play... I do know that they do play Max Potion, though, so that's like a little bit frustrating. But they probably won't be able to Max Potion both of their things. So let's just go ahead up with the Buzzwole. And then I think we are going to bench that. And we're just going to retreat. And then my opponent, they probably won't be able to Max Potion both things next turn. So that's going to be like my wager, is that they don't Max Potion both things next turn. I'm just going to hang on to this. I'm going to hang on to this hand that I have here. I have 2 energies on my active Buzzwole, so I can retreat and I can Dangerous Rogue GX. That's going to be the game plan. Even if my opponent somehow manages to knock out this Buzzwole, maybe they attack into me with Claw and a Choice Band or something like that. They do one. That's still short. They're going to be 110 plus 60, 170. They're still short on that knockout. So I am looking to go ahead and just win with Dangerous Rogue. They look like they don't have any Pokemon going on. They Bridgeted. They got nothing going on. They're going to go ahead, Turbo Storm. They know that I've got game. They can sense it. And I do have game. I'm just going to be able to finish things off with Buzzwole here. And I'm going to show you guys the Lycanroc play. Let's go get it. I do have Guzma. I could do it with Guzma, but I want to do it with Lycanroc. Opponent saying, good game. Good game to you, Gengar. Sorry the parallel stuck you so hard there. But also not sorry, because that's what I'm trying to do. All right, and we're going to Knuckle Impact for game. So good games to my opponents. Thank you all for watching. Let me know, what do you guys think of gameplays on the main channel? Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Try to make it as entertaining as possible. But anyways, thank you all for watching the video. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment, ring that bell, whatever. Thank you all for watching. Peace.